Welcome back once again to CBSE Board Economics. I'm Saddam Hussein here. We're left with another 10 days for the first terminal board examination of 2021. I have been telling you this board exam is different from the earlier board exams because in this exam you have multiple choice questions. It's not a subjective paper where you keep on writing. You have multiple choice questions. You have assertion and reasoning. This is the first time the CBSE has introduced assertion and reasoning. Then in this paper you have match the following, of course, that you can do it easily. And then they give you a passage. Below that passage you have few questions followed by a few questions. Read the passage carefully and you will be in a position to answer those questions. It's not difficult. MCQs are not difficult because you are getting options A, B, C, D, and match the following is not difficult to have to match one statement. Now in case of, I keep on explaining with examples, MCQs, so multiple choice question. They can give you something, bank rate is dash, then the options they give you, it's the rate of interest charged by the central bank on the commercial banks for long-term credit. B, it's the rate of interest charged by the central bank on the commercial banks for short-term credit. C, it's the rate of interest charged by the commercial banks on the central bank. And the last one is none of the above. So this is pretty simple because you have multiple choice questions. You pick up the right one. A is the right answer here. Bank rate is the rate of interest charged by the central bank on commercial banks for long-term credit. That's pretty simple. Like this you find many multiple choice questions. We're not discussing about them. That's pretty simple today in this video. The second one, they give you a passage followed by a few questions, which easily you read the passage carefully and you will be in a position to answer them because most of the answers you find it in the passage. That's not difficult. Then you have match the following. They give you bank rate, they write something here, it's the rate of interest charged by the commercial banks on the central bank. Then they give you the second, then you have repo rate, reverse repo rate, and this side you have other options and you have to choose whichever is the right answer, which is matching number 1 with number something like 3 or something. That's pretty simple. Match the following. The most difficult part of this paper is assertion and reasoning. That's why I'm making a special video to make you understand what exactly is assertion and reasoning. This is the first time the CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, has introduced in this multiple choice exam because of COVID-19. Okay, now today I'm going to explain you what exactly assertion and reasoning. Assertion and reasoning, you have 4 options in it. They give you a statement in assertion and followed by another statement in reasoning. The both statements can be true. One of them can be true. One statement agrees with the other statement and you have to choose it. There are 4 options. Let me make it clear to you. The first option is both assertion and reason are true. A reason is the correct explanation of assertion, that is A. B, assertion and reason, both the statements are true, they are correct, but the reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. C, option, assertion is true, correct statement, but reason is a wrong statement. D, assertion is false or not true, not the correct statement, but reason is the correct statement. Okay, we'll take up one to make you understand, then I'll give you a few of them. Okay, both the statements are true. Now I'm giving an example. The same thing, we'll take it. Bank rate is the rate, assertion, bank rate is the rate of interest charged by the central bank on commercial banks for long-term credit. It's a correct statement, it's an assertion. Correct statement. Now I'll give you another reasoning. Okay, another reasoning I'm giving you. Repo rate is the rate of interest charged by the central bank on commercial banks for short-term credit. This statement is also correct. It's true. Both the statements are correct. Assertion is correct and reason is correct, but both are mere statements, but reason is not justifying the assertion. It's just saying what is repo rate and what is bank rate. So in this case, the answer will be B. Both statements are true, assertion and reasoning, but reasoning is not the correct explanation of assertion. Okay, now I'll give you another statement. Bank rate is the rate of interest charged by the central bank on commercial banks for long-term credit. Of course, it's the right statement. Now below I'm giving you interest rate is the rate of interest charged by the central bank on the central bank when the bank rate increases, automatically the interest rate of commercial banks will also go up. Okay, in this case the reason is justifying the assertion. Okay, the reason is justifying. In today's video we will be giving you exclusive statements which pertain to option A. That means both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So I'll give you from different chapters. Let's see the first one. Assertion. Higher the primary or initial deposits with the commercial banks, higher the initial deposits with the commercial banks, more will be credit creation, keeping other factors constant. If the commercial banks have more initial deposits or primary deposits, they'll be in a position to create more credit. Absolutely correct statement, right statement. Now let's see what reasoning. They've given you reason R. LRR, that is legal reserve ratio, is one of the other factors which assume to be constant. Of course, this is the right statement. So mind it, in this chapter, credit creation of commercial banks, I'm sure you must have done it. There are two factors which influence the credit creation capacity of a commercial bank. One is the initial deposit to the commercial bank, and the second one is LRR, legal reserve ratio. So in this case, we conclude that the reasoning is the correct explanation of assertion. Both the statements are true, and this is why we take the option A. Reason is the correct statement of assertion. So that means, what do we conclude from this? You must have learned this. So the banks which have more initial deposits and the factors which are responsible for credit creation of a commercial banks are two. One is the initial deposit and second one is LRR. Okay, let's go to the next one. Try to understand. Banks charge, I'm talking about commercial banks, charge a higher interest rate on loans than what they offer on deposits. If someone takes a loan from the bank, they charge you a higher interest rate. Of course, we know that. If I deposit money in the bank, they charge they give you low interest rate. I repeat, banks charge a higher interest rate on a loan than what they offer on deposits. True statement. Let's see the reason. The difference between what is charged from borrower and what is paid to depositors is their main source of income. Absolutely right. The main source of income of a commercial bank is the interest. It's the difference between what they charge from the people who take loans from them and what they pay to the depositors. That is their profit. So what do we conclude here? Both the statements are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So option A. One more thing. Monetary policy is a policy formulated by the central bank. Of course, absolutely right. Monetary policy is the policy It's formulated by the central bank assertion is true. And let's see the reason. The policy involves measures taken to regulate the supply of money, availability and cost of credit in the economy. Of course, monetary policy deals with the regulation of money supply in the economy, cost of credit, availability of credit in the economy. Absolutely right statement. Assertion and reason, both are true, both are correct, but the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Let's move to the next one. Government should reduce subsidies to curb revenue deficit. Of course, to curb the revenue deficit, they should reduce the subsidies. B, that is reasoning. Providing subsidies on a LPG cylinder is a part of revenue expenditure. Of course, the government is providing huge subsidies on LPG cylinders. If they reduce that, of course, we can reduce the revenue deficit. Absolutely. So both the statements are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Purchase of machinery from Germany will be recorded on the debit side of BOP. Of course, debit side. Why it is recorded debit side? Because of outflow of foreign exchange. It's a correct statement. Reasoning. Any transaction that causes a country to lose foreign exchange is recorded on the debit side of and thus given a negative sign. So reason, both the statements are correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. We can have any number of like this follow. Today we concentrated only on option A. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Both the statements are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. One more last to make you understand. Government budget has two parts: revenue budget and capital budget. Okay, this is assertion. This is a correct statement. Absolutely, it has two parts: revenue budget and capital budget. And the next part, assertion and reason. Revenue budget deals with revenue receipts and revenue receipts and revenue expenditure, and capital budget deals with capital receipts and capital expenditure. That's reason. This is also correct statement. It is a reason is justifying assertion. Both the statements are true. That's all we have time. Keep doing this, right? Follow both the statements should be correct, and reason should explain the assertion. If you practice, I'm sure you'll be in a position to do that. For the other options we'll be discussing in another video. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, like and comment on our videos. Till we meet next time, best of luck for your board exams. There is no substitute for hard work. Try to work hard in these 10 days. I'm sure they'll come out with flying colors. Goodbye guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.